Herbways, the pathway to family wellness.
What do you know about this fruit? Yes, this fruit I'm holding. What do you know about it? And what do they call it in your language? The common name is called sweet potato because it is sweet. And the botanical name is Ipomia batatas. And I think in my part of the southwest here, they call it odunkun. Some people call it kukunduku. Whatever you call it in your language, I don't know. But that is what we are going to be dealing with today. Shabbat Shalom, welcome to another interesting edition of Herbways under a particular segment called Herbs and Therapeutics. This is where we highlight all forms of therapies that are being validated by WHO, all forms of complementary and alternative medicine, natural health, and those hidden therapies, which hitherto may not known to many of us, but they are really working wonders. Because the philosophy of this program is to highlight those therapies, apart from Western medicine, which could benefit humanities, which doesn't have side effect or what we call horrendous complications. So what are we going to be looking at today? Last week, there was this topic that went viral, the issue of people using human flesh to perfect some medicaments. And I think the people at the National Assembly, they have taken the bull by the horn. They are really discussing it. In fact, we even heard of a particular legislator from the part of the North who went comical. And he started saying he was the one who moved the motion that they should recognize herbal medicine. He was the one who was also giving assent, giving approval, giving everything. It was very funny. But it was making sense. And I was thinking that I want to get his identity because one of these days we are really going to give the man deserve an award for coming out. He spoke a very, what can I call it, straight language. He used pidgin English, intermittently mixed with Hausa and all this. But the man was able to make his point. He was very passionate about the fact that government should, as a matter of urgency, recognize herbal medicine. Because if that is on the limelight, the issue of people using human flesh to make medicaments will not even arise. We won't even go there to start with, you know. And this is what we are saying. We cannot do this to them. Why are they doing this to us? Or is it our people that are serving as the middleman because of their own selfish end, to make sure that unwholesome products are brought to the country? But kudos must be given to NAFDAC and other agencies who are fighting very hard to make sure that the country is not polluted or contaminated with unwholesome and sacrilegious and clandestine medicine. Sorry for using those big words, but that is the situation. Today, we are going to talk about sweet potato, like I said, Ipomia batatas. That is the botanical name. It belongs to a family of Convolvulaceae. Please, don't bother yourself about those big words, but we want to highlight the importance of sweet potato because in this program, some of those fruits you just look at. Maybe some of us, when we are driving, maybe out of wickedness, some of us can even use our tire to crush them. What's this one selling? Whereas these are things that are very, very rich. You know, many of us, I think we don't know more than 4 staple foods in this country: bread, rice, gari. Bread, rice, gari, that's all. And yam. But there are some other foods that are good. This one is a branch of yam too because it's a tuber. And this is called sweet potato. It is a very rich source of flavonoids, antioxidant, vitamins, minerals, and dietary fibers. I know many of us will say, yes, I used to eat it when I go to eatery. Those ones you are eating at eatery may not be as nourishing as the one you cook in your house and eat. Because those ones, they are already mixed with polysaturated fats, with some form of oil, and they call it whatever fries they call it. But this one is more nourishing. Cook it in your house and eat it, you know. And when you eat it, there is this sense of satisfaction. And come to think of it, for the fact that it is sweet does not exclude people who are diabetic. They can even eat it, you know, because the kind of sugar it contains is called polysaccharide, which may not affect you. It's good for people who are hypertensive, you know, and it is a very good source of vitamin C, you know. And come to think of it, even the leaf is edible. You can cook fantastic egusi soup with the leaf of this plant. Do you know that? Thanks to WAP TV, you know. So people in the village, they know what I'm talking about. That's why you see them very fresh, you know, the people from the village. You can say they are not sociable like you. And associate we want to talk or make your belly, make the food enter your body, make it do better thing. So that is it. Then apart from that, it has vitamin D, which is an important role in energy level. It also helps people who are having issues with health. It is good for building bones. If you're having orthopedic issues, you should be eating this because of the vitamin D content. It's good for the heart, the nerves, the skin and teeth. It also supports thyroid gland. Those of us who are having hyperthyroidism or we are having goiter, you should be taking this. And apart from that, it's also rich in vitamin B6, which helps reduce chemical homocysteine in our body. This is the chemical that enables us to have good heartbeat, homocysteine. You know, it is being produced from the kidney to make sure that our blood pressure is always operating within the normal sphere. You know, so that's homocysteine for us. Then apart from that, it has magnesium, you know, and it has other stress material. So magnesium is good for the heart. So those of us who are having issues with high blood pressure, you want to ask yourself, is your system being depleted of magnesium? You know, so these are things we should be eating. It's not that we should be eating it every day, maybe once in a while. Instead of those your usual rice, bread, yam, and gari, you can incorporate this into it. Just take potato. You can eat it raw like I cook it. You can use palm oil to eat it. You can use groundnut oil to eat it. You know, whichever way you choose. And some people, they will even put some spiced pepper into it. It could be very, very nourishing. And it comes in many colors. Some are pink, some are purple, some are white, some are yellow. So far, it is Ipomia batatas. So far, it is sweet potato. You are good to go. So that is what we are going to say on the issue of fruits today. Like I said in our last program, many of you responded positively to it. We got calls from the Republic of Benin. We got from Kenya. We got from so many places. All of you, thank you for keeping faith with us. Thank you for watching our program. We will not relent in our effort to be bringing into your notice all those herbs and foods and fruits and herbs that will be beneficial to mankind. You know, because we always say that the best way to deal with any ailment is through your nutrition. Nutrition is very key. Is it in diagnosis or prognosis? Nutrition is key. When we eat our own foods, we should be promoting our own foods and our own drugs. After all, they say, let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. So when we are eating all these foods that are rich in minerals, our hospital bills will be drastically cut down, you know. So when our immunity level will even be high, when we are taking all these things that will be essential, they are natural, you know. So that is why we will not relent in our effort to bring you this. Welcome back to the second segment, and this is the segment we discuss therapeutics. And today we want to discuss a very common ailment. I will call it ailment, but it's not a disease. Headache. Headache is an ailment that plagues both young and old. Though whether you have frequent and severe headaches depends a great deal on your genetic susceptibility. No doubt, whenever you find yourself in this situation, it is advisable to go for wider tests to know whether as a result of a malaria parasite or other related fever such as typhoid fever, yellow fever, jaundice, etc., etc. Otherwise, sinus headache, tension and stress headache, or the dreaded migraine. Many people endure nearly constant headache, never dreaming the cause could be something in their diet. According to leading headache authorities, the same foods that trigger migraines can also trigger less severe vascular headaches. From the looking of things, now we have almost 5 types of headaches. There are some that can be stimulated, let me use that word, that will be initiated by high blood pressure. Some could due to stress. That could be what we call vascular headache. And there are some that could be due to trauma. Trauma means maybe you have a hit on your head or a form of accident. There are some that could be triggered by malaria or other form of fever symptoms. And there are some that can become so severe that it's now an everyday affair, like in migraine, you know. So what is headache we are talking about? Headache is a triggering pain due to diet, weather changes, bright light, strong odor, malaria and menstrual period, stress and tension. You know, that when you start having this pain in your head, in some instances, the thing will be hitting your head, bam, bam, bam. It could be very, very serious. I've had that kind of one time. I woke up, it was as if they were pounding yam on my head. And I'm sure many of you might have gone through the same, So what are the causes? Headache there could be so many causes. Some could be genetic. In other words, you could inherit it. Yes, are you surprised? You could inherit headache. Then what you can eat too can trigger headache. For example, if you go and you are invited to a party, then you start to drink, you say, I would know the wrong belly. You are drinking beer like fish. Well, when you get home, the hangover, headache will be one of the prominent hangovers you will have. And then you'll be running here and there. You want to buy some pills to suppress the headache. But that's the cause. Because you believe wood doesn't run belly, but it's now running your head. So it's possible. And apart from that, I've said there could be many causes. We have stated it. Then, what can you do when you have headache? If your own headache is becoming very constant, go and run a test. And I want to say here, there is this popular medication which you all use. I don't want to mention the name. If you try that medication and your headache is not going down, you have to go and run a test. After all, they said that when you use it for 3 days and it doesn't go and see your doctor. So that is the convention. That is the norm. When you use a particular medicine for 3 days and the headache is still there, There are foods that can trigger headache. You want to know? Foods like this are fish oil, ginger, and garlic. They may trigger headache. Some of us will say, yes, garlic is good, though. Yes, I believe garlic is good, but when you are taking it every time, it can also trigger headache. These are the food that could relieve headache. You will not believe it. Chocolate is there. Chocolate. But when we say chocolate, it doesn't mean that every time you will now be eating chocolate, then you spoil your teeth. That's not what we are saying. Then, red wine, caffeine, nuts, alcohol, ice cream, These are things that could actually relieve your headache, So now, let us now look at ginger test. A 40-year-old patient takes ginger mixed with plain water. Within 30 minutes, the abortive effect of headache was perceivable. Fish oil. So I'm sorry I carried them for one another. These are the ones that can actually relieve headache. Garlic, ginger, fish oil, and so on. The ones that can worsen your headache: chocolate, red wine, caffeine, nuts, alcohol, and ice cream. So please pardon me for that misappropriation. Let me put it that way. So these are the things. Fish oil and garlic are experiment that has been carried on for a very long time. You all know that garlic is good for the circulatory system, and it has this antibiotic effect. It also has antipyretic effect. In other words, it can actually bring down temperature and so on and so forth. So those are the diets you can use to banish headache. Then you want to try to also avoid taking carbonated drinks, things that contain caffeine. Caffeine will keep you to stay alive. So you should also avoid it. If a child has severe headache from time to time, check out food allergy. So that is what we are saying. So now let us look at, that is talking about management. If you have a headache, what should be the first thing you should do? It's very simple. Put your towel in a very cold water. Put it in cold water. Then you can now put that towel, squeeze it, put it on your head. Where it hurts, put it there. It will relieve the headache, It will relieve the headache. As you know, in medicine or in science, they say cold usually constrict the blood vessel, while heat dilates. So on that principle, if you put a very cold towel on your head, it can also relieve your headache. That is apart from the normal medication you always use. But if those medicines are not around, what can you do? So you can do that one. You can just put that one on your head. And if you are a good student of a complementary medicine, I only teach you a simple method in acupuncture, which I've taught majority of my students. All you need to do is, please, I want camera to focus me. If you do your left hand like this, if you do your left hand like this, if you do your left hand like this, then allow your right hand. This is your, yes, this is my left hand. Do your right hand like this. Let the right hand meet the left hand like this. Yes. Then allow your thumb to now somersault, and the tip of your thumb should now be on that place. That point at which your thumb is the best point for headache. As a matter of fact, the strongest analgesic point in the body for headache. And after that, you will now allow your index finger, this is called index finger, to meet the tip of your thumb beneath here. See. Then you apply pressure. You press, you release, you press, you release, you press, you release. Believe it or not, by the time you do this 5-6 times, your headache is gone. You don't need to take any medicine. Yes, your headache is gone. In acupuncture, this point is called point Hoku. They call it Hoku. It belongs to large intestine 4. So this is a master stroke for headache. But if you now use this one and your headache refused to go, then you know that could be due to typhoid. Then you need to go and run wider test. Apart from this one, there are so many other points in the body. For example, if you have someone who is very good in masseur, he can put his head in the temporal region, give it a massage, and then your headache can go. And at the same time, we have headache points in the leg, in between the big toe and the second toe. There is a web there. That web, just give it some distance. In Chinese acupuncture, we say too soon. Too soon to that web, there is a point there, which you can also, but this one has to be needled. So that one has to be needled. It will automatically silence your headache. So these are points for headache. That is the number to call. Maybe your own headache has been troubling you for so many years and you don't know what to do with it. We always say on this program that nature is our teacher. These are all things in your body. You don't need to, it doesn't have any side effect, except if you don't follow the protocol. If you didn't follow the process which I've just taught you, just put your hand on that point and you press it. This one has helped so many people. I can't even count. There was a time I was going inside an aircraft. The person sitting next to me was having a very bad headache. I just told him to bring his hand and I put my hand on that point and I press it. You know it, the headache went away. And the person confessed to me that he has been carrying this thing around for 14 years. You can imagine. So there are a lot of things in nature. These are Chinese discovery, which has been discovered many years before the birth of Christ. That's the number to call so that I wouldn't be the only one talking on this program. You can call and contribute to this program. I will be having a headache that will not just go. And now you start suspecting people. You start thinking it is a spiritual attack. You know, because people, when they use medicine like that, the thing will not go. They will now start running up and down. Some people will say, go and bring money. I want to wash your head for you. I don't know what they are washing there. Whether that is washing and setting, I don't know. Come, I want to wash your head for you. Whereas the solution lies in your body. So the solution is within you. It's in you. So that's the number to call. Let's talk about headache. Please, the topic is headache. I don't want you to deviate because these days we just have to keep strict to the business. So that is one way to look at headache. We've talked about applying cold compress. When you use ice, it is called cold compress. You apply cold compress. So now when you're having headache, there are certain things you shouldn't do. When you're having headache, you should not take alcohol. You know, you should avoid food that is very hot. All these things may not help you, you know. And then you should not take part in any form of strong activity. And you should avoid walking in the sun. These are things that can trigger headache. You know, when you're walking in the sun, it can worsen your headache. And for crying out loud, if you want to take your medicament, make sure you don't take them on empty stomach. It's very important. But if your own is migraine, this is very important. You need to see an acupuncturist. If your own is migraine, because many people think migraine is not curable. Migraine is curable. Yes, it's curable. If you see an acupuncturist, he will be able to navigate those points. There are a couple of important points in the body that can be used. One in the corner of the anterior hairline here is very, very good for migraine. And some other points, do 20. There's so many points that you can use to take care of headache. So headache should not be something that will not allow you to do whatever you want to do. Like we always see in those adverts, some people want to go and play football. They will tell him headache, and then they will now give him some things to swallow, and he will start kicking ball. You may not need to do that. All you need to do is just apply those pressure, apply those tips, and then your headache is as good as gone. You know, we always say it on this program that the nature has answers to most of the problems we are having. We always say on this program again that most of these ailments that is ravaging the entire mankind, there are no death sentence. Diabetes is not a death sentence. Post-itis is not a death sentence. Maybe next week we are going to pick a topic on that because a lot of people are complaining about post-itis. Yes, I have my first caller from Kano. Khalid from Kano. Khalid, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
How is Kano today?
Fine, thank you.
Inokwana?
Last year.
Yes, please make your contribution.
My contribution is that when I was growing up, whenever somebody has a headache, my grandmother used to say you should cut lemon and put it on the head, or a fresh ginger, and the headache goes.
Yes, that is possible. You know, we mentioned ginger and garlic on this program. It is possible. You know, everybody within different localities, they have their own treatment regime for some ailments, and I believe headache is just one of them. But what we are saying is that we shouldn't be too superstitious about it. Whatever you want to do should be scientific. We are not saying there are no herbal treatment for headache. Whatever you know can relieve your headache, do it. There are no hard and fast rules. You know, if you know any other thing you can do. But what we are saying is that the nature has a way of dealing with headaches, and that is what we are discussing on this program. Thank you, Khalid. Can we take one more call before we round it up, because my time is fast running? The topic is headache, but like I said, if you have some other ailments which you want us to discuss, my number will be displayed on this program, so that after the program, the conversation can continue. My number will soon be displayed so that we can talk about it. But for now, the topic is still headache. That is the number to call. That's the number if you want to be part of this program, or you just want to make a contribution, or there are things we have discussed in the past which yes, that is my number. I think the telephone thing is blocking my number so that people can see it. And maybe we take away the telephone for now so that people can see it, so that at the end of the program, or we raise it up a bit, that number is in front of the number so we cannot see it. Maybe that will be corrected. So that is my number. That's the number to call. That is my number, 081-605-98610. So maybe you want to talk about some other things which could be beneficial to you, or you have a silent ailment which you have been thinking of, how do you tackle it naturally? We are going to discuss it. We are going to give you counseling. We have said that this program is not an hospital. We don't treat any ailment here, but we can give you advice that will help you so that you can live a normal life. And that is why many of you have made this program your number one choice, because of the richness of the program, because of the life transforming ability or characteristics of this program. We thank you for watching us. So we are very grateful for that.
Welcome to your health and wellness segment. Herb Ways is about herbal medicine. Herbal medicine is the same thing as phytotherapy. So there's a place for herbal medicine in natural medicine, and we need to know where exactly it should be. When you have issues with your body, you have a symptom. If you arrest that symptom or work on your body, or if you've been working on your lifestyle all along and you are in tune with your body, you'll know when something is going wrong, and you know how to address it immediately or as soon as possible. And that is why this proverb says, a stitch in time saves 9. And an ounce of prevention is much, much better than a pound of cure. Herbal medicine comes as your first line of treatment when things are going wrong. It comes on top of your foundation to everything, which is food. A balanced diet, and then some herbs to push your body, to use to support or build the immune system, to help your kidneys, to help your liver, and all that. Now, if you don't address this issue at that time, and you don't work using natural medicine, you get to a stage where you're going to need some major therapeutic agents. And those major therapeutic agents are the pharmaceutical medications. And these ones are going to be suppressing the symptoms that you've been feeling, instead of working on bringing your body back into balance. So after using the pharmaceutical drugs for a long time, managing the symptoms without addressing the root cause of the problem, you now end up going to your doctor and they're telling you they need to do surgery. So you see, if we had done something earlier, we won't go down that route. So it's like different stages. if you don't arrest it at the right time, it keeps progressing, and the problem keeps getting more and more, precipitating into a chronic ailment that you end up under the knife of a doctor. So in natural medicine, we believe that it's better for us to reverse the process, that you don't end up going to the doctor. I can give an example of a case of a patient of mine that happened a few years ago. She was diagnosed with having glaucoma, and the doctors told her there was nothing else they could do because she's been using the medication to suppress or reduce the pressure on her eyes. There was nothing else they could do. So she now came to see me. I said, well, in natural medicine, our first line of treatment is a detox. After the detox, then we take other therapeutic agents that are going to reverse the process of what is going on in your body. I worked on the kidneys, I worked on the liver, I worked on, in a particular order. After doing all those things over time, she now went back to do her eye test. And they were saying that it was a medical miracle. But this thing is simple, because they say true greatness lies in simplicity. It is simple because she has come to meet somebody that could help her. I was just a teacher, guiding her on what to do and explaining every process back on that road. Up till today, this same woman can still see with her eyes. She hasn't gone blind. She's actually changed career and started studying natural medicine, and she's also helping other people to reverse such processes in their bodies. So it's simple. Don't go on this way. It's like a road to destruction. You can take another route, reverse it, take another direction, work on yourself, take responsibility, consciously change whatever you've been doing that is not right. We have a lot of herbs in our environment, and they do so many things. They have their own medicinal properties, but a lot of Nigerians feel that it's better to take these herbs as teas. The teas you keep on drinking and drinking and drinking, to have a therapeutic effect, it takes longer. So as a herbalist or a naturopath, there are ways you can extract the medicinal properties of the herbs without losing the active ingredient and without using any toxic chemicals. So we concentrate the herbs and we use them as extracts. The extracts could be liquid, they could be solid. I prefer to use liquid extracts because it makes the product more bioavailable, more easily absorbed by the body, and they work faster. And you don't lose any of the medicinal properties. Some people prefer to encapsulate the dry herbs, the dried herbs. It could be good for some people, but it's not as effective as if that dried capsule is made from a solid extract. It takes training to learn how to do these processes. That is beyond the scope of this program. I'm just advising that when you go to your practitioner and they tell you, go and buy 100 grams of a particular herb and start taking it 1 teaspoon at a time, I don't think that is going to help you that much. You won't go too far because the strength of what you're taking is not enough. You need to concentrate it more, and you need to be able to ask your practitioner, is this the right way for me to take this product? Can I get it at a higher concentration? You need to talk in a nice way so they'll know that you know exactly, or you are learning at least a little bit of what you can do to help yourself. So herbal extracts are more concentrated, they're more potent, they're more effective, and the dose that you need to take is even lower. You don't need to take tons and tons and tons of cups of tea before you have the therapeutic benefit.
Herbways, the pathway to family wellness.